How's it going? David here. Well, it's Friday, so what does that mean? It's Financial Fridays. So that's where I normally go through different tips and tricks and just advice on how to better your financial situation. And these are all even things that I use myself. So today what I'm going to talk about is financial transparency. And so what exactly does that even mean? Well, if you followed me, you know that I've talked about getting debt free and making sure you pay off your credit cards and all that kind of stuff because this is more beneficial. And I talked about how my girlfriend was in a ton of credit card debt, and then I helped her with a budget and everything like that, and she stuck to it. She did all the hard work. I just wrote a few numbers down, and eventually she got debt free. Well, I thought that was always the case. And I thought that was something that continued going on. And as you know, I've mentioned this before, but me and my girlfriend are buying a house together. So we ran into a bit of a snag because when it came time to do all our financials, found out that she was in a ton of credit card debt. She got back into it. And that's what I mean by financial transparency. It's like you got to, if you have a significant other or a business partner or anything like that, you have to be on the same page and you have to be transparent about your financial situation. Because if you think, hey, it's not a big deal, like she thought she's going to pay it off and all this kind of stuff in time, well, lo and behold, came time for the bank to be like, okay, we need to know all your statements and all this kind of stuff. And what did end up happening? Well, because she had so much debt, it was harder to qualify. And then on top of that, we couldn't qualify as much. And then also, our payments were going to be much higher. And so that just threw a wrench in everything. Thankfully, we caught it early enough where we were able to move some things around and she was able to get rid of all her credit card debt. But she had something like $7,000 or $8,000 when she was debt free, and so this completely, took me by surprise. And I was like, I thought you were debt free, but turns out, she wasn't. So I mean, she was, and then later she ended up not, because that's the thing with debt is it creeps up on you. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna add a little bit here, a little this here, a little bit. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, don't worry, I'll pay it off next month. The next month comes around, and then it's like, oh no, I now can't because this popped up. So now it's, yeah. And then before you know it, you're back into all this debt again. And so if you have a significant other or a business partner or something like that, you should be talking about your financial situation regularly. And I guess I took it for granted thinking that, oh, she's done, she's paid off, she's good. And that wasn't the case. And then the longer that goes without having conversations like this, then you run into trouble. Because, I mean, even if you are the type of person that has shared bank accounts and all that kind of stuff, they might have another bank account or another credit card that you're not aware about. And that just leads to money issues, and it leads to fights, which then ruins your relationship and all that other kind of stuff. And it just money affects so much in someone's life, not just, not just the financial part. It can affect relationships with people. I mean, how many times have maybe you guys in your life lent someone money and then they never pay you back? Well, maybe it's not very much money, but it's the strain, the fact that no one ever paid you back, and you see that person going out and spending money on who knows what, and you're like, hey, dude, paid me back. So just having that transparency with your significant other is very key. Thankfully, we were able to kind of fix it. There's still some issues that we're having, but I think for the most part, we're out of the woods on this. But if it would have went another couple months, who knows, right? Maybe it was in too deep and we wouldn't have time to fix it. And, eventually, if you're the type of person that you're on the other end where you're hiding it from someone, well, eventually one day it's going to come back to haunt you. And it's going to be worse compared to if you just told your significant other or whoever it was. So if you're the type that's hiding it from someone, you should talk to them now before it gets worse, because one day it will come due, and then this person, your significant other, will be completely cut off guard, and it won't be very pretty. So if you tackle it now, even though it's embarrassing, even though it's kind of might be afraid to talk about it, it's better to talk about it now, get it out of the way so you can handle it, and at least that person knows. Because I mean, I was going on this assumption that it's like, hey, all this is taken care of. Let's go here, do this, all this kind of stuff to get the loan. And then I thought that portion was good, but it turns out it wasn't. So yeah, just have conversations about it. It will end up saving you a lot of headaches in the end, and also, a lot of fights and everything like that. And yeah, it might be embarrassing that you racked up thousands of dollars for burritos or something, or whatever it is. But in the end, it will be better for both of you. So yeah, that's kind of it. All right, have a good day and a good weekend.